ejections and a buzzer beater in Detroit. Lawrence Frank, a record-setting night, and late-breaking Vin Baker news. But we start with Kobe Bryant's return. Kobe back in the mix for the Lakers, and more importantly, it was Yao versus Shaq. But right off the bat, what's going on with Kobe?
Well, he didn't exactly come busting out of the gate at either end of the floor. Right here, Cuttino Mobley basically abuses him. Rockets up too early.
Reason they call him Cat. From there, it's all about Shaq Yao, Greg.
Yeah, you knew this matchup was going to be a difficult one, at least for Shaquille, because his team is struggling a little bit right now. Yao came out and set the tone early, but of course Shaq Daddy will respond.
Shaquille O'Neal, a little baseline noise, 24-9 for Shaq. The kick out, second quarter, and Kobe hits the three, 43-42 Lakers. Third quarter, the Cat oops upside your head to Steve Francis, dunk of the night nominee, 21 points for both your best friends, 63-58 Rockets, and then Yao just went crazy.
He went to work down the stretch. He was real aggressive. He got great position, hit the jump hook over Shaq, and watch this. Nice move right here. Good footwork, stays with his move, is patient. That's something he could not do in his rookie year. He would have picked up his dribble last year and shot a bad shot. He kept his dribble, got to the rim, laid it in.
Patrick Ewing's tutelage.
Gotta help.
All right, you know what's got to help? It's the fact that Yao was magnificent. 29 points for Yao, and maybe he does deserve to be the starter at the All-Star game. 11 rebounds, but more importantly, the Rockets get the huge win, 102-87. And afterwards, Jim Gray talked to Yao about his game in English.
Was this the best night of your career?
I think it is because, you know, that's a big game. You know, LA Lakers is the best team in this league, you know. Everybody want to do something when they're coming.
You know, he speaks English, huh?
Yeah, he does. And you know what? He said it was really his big night, his coming out party. And, you know, he stayed aggressive. He's took 21 shots in this game tonight, and he showed a variety of moves. He's got a nice low post game in terms of the jump hook. He's also got great footwork. You know, there's no question about his ability. His real concern and real issue has always been his tenacity and his attitude. Tonight, he started to display that. And if this guy plays like this, they're going to be a hard team to beat because Cat and Stevie Francis, they don't have a problem being aggressive.
All right, meanwhile, what about Kobe Bryant? What did you see of Kobe Bryant?
Well, you heard it in psychology, passive-aggressive. Well, Kobe was definitely the passive tonight because he came out slow. I think he wanted to blend in early. He's missed some time. He came out, but sometimes in that first 8-9 minutes of the game, if you don't get yourself going, you're setting the tone for the night. He only took 7 shots tonight in 36 minutes, and I think it hurt their team. And it's also one of the reasons I think sometimes when a star player or any player has missed time, it's not the worst thing in the world for a game to come off the bench. Sometimes it's easier to come off the bench that first game. You can come in, you know you're going to come in and try to give your team a lift. You can be more aggressive. With the second unit on the floor, you're going to be the guy. Instead, he tried to blend in. I think it cost him later. He had a hard time getting it going tonight. Of course, I don't know how much the hand was bothering him.
Kobe Bryant, 4 of 7, but 4 of 5 from 3, so all his field goals came from three-point land.
Yeah, but he didn't have the energy level, and he didn't compete defensively. I mean, Cuttino Mobley came out and took it right to him and was the aggressor. And you, as a basketball player, you know when a guy is not there physically, and Cuttino took full advantage of it, was aggressive, set the tone early, and I think that gave that entire team a lot of confidence that they could go out and win this basketball game.
Meanwhile, Jim Gray reported before the game that the Lakers have withdrawn the contract extension they were offering Phil Jackson. Lakers spokesman John Black told Gray that, quote, things were put on hold. Jackson had the following response. I think it's the right move for them to make with all of the free agents coming up this summer. Of course, the key free agent, Kobe Bryant. So we wonder what's going on in that situation. So issues for Phil. Meanwhile, back in L.A., as they kick off to All-Star Weekend, the Lakers unveiled a statue in front of the Staples Center of Magic Johnson.
He's been more than a basketball player. He's been more than a winner. He's a person who has left his mark on the city of Los Angeles, on the NBA, and more importantly, I think, basketball throughout the world.
This statue represents every player that I played with. It's not about me. It was about the team, the way we played together. So please don't look at this as a basketball statue, but just a man who loved living in L.A., being a part of the city, and will always give back to this great city and you, the fans.
And that he has indeed done. Still ahead, we offer our thoughts on who else in the NBA deserves to be bronzed. Who on the Mavs is statuesque? The Nets have won 9 straight, and new head coach Lawrence Frank is still unbeaten. Could this kid knock off that kid? And another night, another new coach in the Atlantic Division. This time it's AI adjusting to a new leader. We'll have pictures for you in a moment. Welcome back. The Nets winners of 9 straight. Visiting the Cavs, LeBron James had a rough night. A rough night. First quarter, and he's just a rookie, Greg.
Well, he is. He's going to have nights like this. I think maybe he's looking ahead a little bit to the All-Star weekend festivities.
I don't know who he's looking to right there. Later, LeBron throws it into the teeth of the defense at the other end. Jason Kidd, the easy money. LeBron 1 of 8 from the floor in the first half. Later in the second, Dunker, the night nominee, and Carlos Boozer continues to blow up. Nice dime, nice dunk. Okay,
I don't know about a nominee.
it was okay tonight. 8 points for Carlos Boozer in this game. Third quarter, and it's all about the Nets. Off the turnover, Kerry Kittles rolling, Kerry Kittles finishing. And the Nets just taking over this game.
Well, defensively, this is where they really can separate themselves from a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference because they got great athleticism, and they are one of the best teams at converting good defense into great transition offense.
Kerry Kittles, 20 points in the third quarter. The Nets never look back because they really didn't need to. They controlled this game. They control LeBron and crew 27 for Kittles. He was 11 of 16 from the floor. And I mean, will they ever lose? With the win, Lawrence Frank makes NBA history by winning his first 9 games of his tenure. And Jason Kidd added the following quote: Naismith, Wooden, all of them will be proud of him. Jason, don't get crazy. Anyway, under Lawrence Frank, the Nets have owned the third quarter, outscoring their opponents by nearly 9 points per game while shooting nearly 58% from the floor. So, in other words, they are handling the business. Great game, great brawl, great action between the Kings and Pistons in Detroit. Brad Miller had no idea that it was fight night at the Palace.
He was dressed for it.
Corliss Williams. And watch what happens underneath. A little shot. Williamson would get the technical here. That's a nasty play, Tim.
A little bit. You know, that's a cheap shot. Give him a shot in the upper back. But you know what? Brad Miller's dealt out a few of those. Brad Miller's usually on the giving end of those. Right there. Now he just gave him a noogie. Smack in the back of the head.
Rebraka gets into it, Brad Miller.
Bill Laimbeer would be proud, though.
Rebraka gets tossed. Later in the third, Miller drives, and this is a real foul.
Now, that is a flagrant.
That may be a suspension.
Williamson just drops Miller to the ground. Williamson done after he gets another technical. And then he says, hey, Vlade, you want some love? Fourth quarter, Kings up by 1. And a big play, Mike Bibby the steal. He was sensational in the second half. 26 points, 5 assists. He was the man down the stretch. Next possession, Chauncey Billups, and he pulls up to the bumper. Drains the 3. We're tied at 92. Kings ball, and what a great play here.
Great backdoor by Pages Stoyakovich. See Darvin Ham coming weak side. But look at the 3 Pistons watching the play. Ben Wallace, Tayshaun Prince, Richard Hamilton. Somebody's got to get in there and get a body on Brad Miller.
Then the other end, Page with the hand. Ben Wallace, the foul. But he goes to the line and makes the first and the second. So Big Ben comes through. We're tied at 94. Under 5 seconds to play. And Paige keeps blowing up.
Amazing shot. That guy should definitely get some consideration for the MVP. Probably won't, only because he's more just a pure scorer as opposed to making other people better.
Peja Stojakovic and Mike Bibby were superb. 25 for Stojakovic. The Kings have now won 7 of 8 and 5 straight on the road. One other note, according to Rick Adelman, the team will decide Monday whether Chris Webber will be activated from the injured list. So it just keeps getting better for this Sacramento Kings team. They're 37 and 13.
Rolling.
Frightening. Hey, quick note, Knicks forward Kurt Thomas was suspended for 1 game for headbutting Dallas.
I love the spot shadow.
Howard Tuesday night during the Mavericks win over New York. I guess he didn't know the spot shadow was there. So, Kurt chilling, kicking the bobo. I mean, you go back home and this day in the game. Knicks and Hornets and Kurt a spectator. So was Lenny Wilkins. A Stephon Marbury, Baron Davis matchup. Tasty, right? End of the first, 4 seconds to go, and Stephon from way downtown.
You know what's great about that right there? That's not a heater. He shot a jump shot. That was a 40-foot jumper.
29 and 10 for Stephon, but then Dizzle.
Not to be outdone. And that's a dunk of the night nominee. That's what I like to see.
Because he threw it on the big African. Hornets within 1. Later. Great pass by Too Easy as he finds P.J. Brown in the paint, and then Brown the tip in. P.J., 12 points, 4 offensive rebounds. Fourth quarter, and just the Hornets keep coming, Tim.
Baron Davis right here going strong to the hole. He is so hard to contain because his upper body strength is so great, and he can finish with the best other point guards in the NBA.
Jamal McGraw had 13 and 11. Davis 29 points. The Hornets pulled together. They had to have a team meeting. They were bickering. Their world was coming apart, but big win. Meanwhile, the Knicks go into the All-Star break on a 2-game skid, but there is hope. Allen Houston is expected back after the All-Star break, right? So there's hope. There's hope. The Chris Ford era getting underway for the 76ers hosting the Wizards. But really, this was all about one guy.
It was all about the schedule. You got the Wizards. Okay, Chris Ford feeling good about that, but definitely AI came ready to play tonight.
Allen Iverson, the jumper there, and don't stop till you get enough, Tim.
So you got to have the runner right here. Another guy, another small guard that is so good at finishing once he gets into the paint.
One more again for Allen Iverson. Sixers up by 20, and the game getting ugly. Iverson misses, but how about Sam Bam?
That shouldn't be a nominee.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
We pulled it back.
Good.
Well, it was late because that layup.
Now we're going to layups? We've resorted to layups on Dunk of the Night
That
nominee.
layup was a layup of the night nominee. Anyway.
Well, the Wizards got dunked tonight, so maybe they were nominated.
So Chris Ford has a successful debut, and after the game reminded everyone that the Sixers' goal is to make the playoffs. When asked, he also added that his other goal is to go 29-0. On a more realistic note, Allen Iverson said that the team got together and they set a goal of 22-7.
Only Lawrence Frank can go 29-0. He's the only guy that can do it. They might not lose the rest of the year.
He's got a chance. He's 1-0.
That's true.
Celtics news, if he does not play Thursday in Chicago, Boston could move to terminate the contract of forward Vin Baker. Baker was suspended January 23rd for violating his alcohol aftercare program. And according to an agreement he made with the team, if he misses 10 consecutive games, the Celtics could then move to terminate his contract. Well, according to representatives for Baker, the forward is willing and able, ready to play, and anxiously awaiting reinstatement. He hasn't spoken to Danny Ainge, but his representatives have spoken to the team, and Baker would gladly play Thursday if the mutually agreed upon doctor reinstates him. Is this about money, holding this guy out, or do you think he's really not fit to play?
Well, I think it's more about money if they ultimately end up to decide that they're not going to allow him to play. But I spoke with Billy Hunter, who's the executive director of the Players Association tonight, and he said, you know what, Dr. Backus, who's the guy they both agreed on in terms of determining whether or not he is fit, is supposed to have a ruling tomorrow morning. And then from that point on, I think it's up to the Celtics to determine whether or not they're going to move forward and try to terminate that contract. But even if they did try to, they're going to get a stiff battle and fight for the Players Association, because that's a precedent they do not want to see set.
Yeah, I can't see if a guy is ready, willing, and able to play and anxious to play, there's any possible way the Celtics can really get away with voiding this guy's contract. It's impossible. I can't see it happening.
It'd be interesting to see. As I said, the Celtics take on Chicago tomorrow night. Baker not with the team right now, so he'd have to get a call.
He can catch a plane.
Right. Well, he'd have to
Chicago's a big airport.
You're absolutely right. Hey, T-Mac, the actor, Tracy McGrady, does a commercial, and we'll show you. I think he's got milk. Oh, man. KG. So intense he cries sometimes on the floor.
That wasn't sweat?
That was sweat. I was just making a big deal out of that.
That's my man. We got to talk about him later.
Kid, I couldn't leave the table until I finished my milk. I drank milk because it keeps my body and my bones strong. It keeps me going. It keeps me healthy and you know, fresh on the court. 6'8", great body, I'm in great shape. Playing a sport where your body just takes a beating every night.
This guy is supreme talent. He's impossible to defend going to the basket. Oh, spectacular stuff by Tracy McGrady.
To all you young kids want to grow up and be like T-Mac, all the people that really is part of this Got Milk ad, you have to drink milk.
So Tracy McGrady's got milk. He needs to get some wins.
He needs to get help.
If they're giving him a carton of milk every time he gets a win, he is a thirsty young man.
Early fourth quarter, Magic down by 11 against the Heat, and milk helps you do that. McGrady had 24 points. Problem is, they got blasted by the Heat. Late in the fourth, Heat up by 12. Dwayne Wade. How nice is this kid?
Oh, man, I tell you what, had it not been for the big two, Carmelo and LeBron, you'd be looking at the Rookie of the Year. Unquestionably.
Meanwhile, Brian
Oh,
Grant,
come on, man. I'm through with these Dunk of the Night nominees, man.
he gets
I'm
the
going
love.
to vote for AI's layup.
Well, Ray for Alston skips to my Lou, drops the three, his fifth. He had a season high 23. It doesn't matter. Heat blast the Magic. T-Wolves and Jazz, KG all alone, one-handed jam. That was a legend.
Popping up.
That should have popped up there.
Popping up in the
Later,
next 5
things start to get ugly. KG teed up, and then Sam Cassell tripping, has to be restrained. He had one technical already. He's like, what you talking? Whoa, who what?
It's got to be Salt Lake, because didn't KG throw the ball in the stands last time?
Carlos Arroyo was ejected for talking trash to Garnett Arroyo.
Can't we all just get along? Right before the All-Star
Block. You know what?
A lot of tempers tonight.
Isn't that interesting? As Tracy McGrady said, guys are ready for a vacation. At least the guys in Orlando are. That's what Tracy said.
Salt.
77-66, the final score is the Timberwolves finished 37-15. Who would have guessed that?
Jordan on the drive, right of the lane, 18-footer. Yeah! The Bulls win it! They win it! Julius, the doctor. The greatest goal scorer in National Hockey League history is Wayne Gretzky.
All right, so earlier in the show, we showed you Magic Johnson getting his statue unveiled at the Staples Center, and it got us to thinking, who else in the NBA deserves a statue? Greg, you want to go first or Tim?
I think GA. I think you're up.
Okay, Greg.
Okay, I'll go first. You know, I'm sure we got a lot of boxing fans out there. You may remember this guy, a guy by the name of Roberto Duran. He was known as the Hands of Stone. Because this guy, he probably couldn't make a jump shot. So therefore, we're going to nominate this award, this statue, I should say, for the Eastern Conference. Because right now, there are not a lot of jump shots being made out of East. There are a lot of hands of stone
So you just put
in the Eastern Conference.
Just put him on 95.
I'm glad to see.
Could drive by him.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see he took it about as seriously as I did. This is going to be good,
All right,
right?
who else deserves to get bronze?
Well, a statue is supposed to be a lifelike impersonation of that person. And I always want to remember the Dallas Mavericks and their defensive posture. So I would do the entire Dallas Mavericks starting 5 as a statue, because that's pretty much the way they play defense. What do you think?
You're right defensively.
Absolutely.
Fortunately for them, though, they don't play offense like a
They
statue.
certainly do not do that.
You know,
They make a lot of other people look like
You know who
statues.
my guy would have been.
No,
He was
we don't.
Dallas Maverick, not a starter, but Sean Bradley would have been bronze.
Oh, that's
Sean Bradley bronze? That's a lot of bronze.
He's bronzed all the time. He's in a lot of posters.
Why not just brass?
Yes.
Just go with brass.
How about copper?
We do still have to get to the dunk of the night. That's on the way when we return. And you know what? There were a lot of bogus nominees tonight. Let's be honest, guys.
Call it out. Who made it?
No doubt. We had a layup on there.
Welcome back to NBA Fast Break. Clippers and Grizz first quarter on the break. Stromile Swift involved. That means it could be a dunk of the night nominee.
It could have been, unfortunately.
He gave
this time.
no love on that. Okay, there you go.
Come on.
Get it out.
We really got to have a conversation.
Later, Paul Gasol. The spin baseline on Chris Kaman, 22 for Gasol. Memphis up by a guy, Elton Brand. And you know what? Get this guy out of L.A.
I feel sorry for him, man. He is seriously.
Clippers got a lot of talent. Remember,
They do.
McGetty and Richardson didn't play tonight.
Problem is, so does the rest of the West.
24 and 15 for Elton Brand. Skinny gets into the mix, knocking down the 3. Miller had 15, 4 of 7 from the land of plenty. Grizzlies win 110-102.
Uh-oh, this is going to be good. It's a preview.
Little preview?
It's a preview.
That's a nominee.
But it just came in.
It still can be a nominee.
Yeah.
I got my vote.
I thought it was okay.
Oh, yeah,
We've seen
not
him do
bad.
that a lot.
That was, oh,
We've
yeah,
seen him do-
yeah, you're right.
We've seen
Kev,
him
You're
do
right.
that a lot.
You're right.
Most
We've
people
seen him do it a
can't
lot.
do it. That's
I
the
understand
beauty
it, but
of
we've seen it a lot, guys.
We
All right, let's
we
go
saw Michael Jordan hit a lot of game-winning shots, too. It never got old.
Oh, now it's Michael Jordan and Jason
I'm
Richardson
just
and one and the same?
saying. We saw that a lot.
Let's look at our dunk of the night, guys.
Shot clock down to 5.
So I'm happy.
All right, this isn't bad. Yeah, why did the Kenny not jump?
Getting that.
What the hell? That's a lot of weight.
It's hard to jump when a tractor's leaning
It's a
on.
lot of weight
Hey,
to
let's
be on.
recap the week, and we start out with this sweet oops upside your head, LeBron James, and he
was
kind of
tight.
that was nice. Sunday, little flavor here as Sam
Where's the
Dallas
flavor?
snuck up. No, hold on.
I don't know,
Sammy,
man.
watch him sneak up right here. On
Yeah, but he's 7 feet tall.
Okay, but the guy just like you shot.
Dunking at home on your 8-foot rim, man. That's
Wow,
not that
okay.
impressive.
Ron Braun again, and
That's
that was impressive.
nice.
It always is impressive. And you know what? You should have done that 8-foot rim. And
I
then
do.
later, Desmond Mason was just
Gave himself a
violent and
concussion.
vicious. Hit himself in the head. So that's our recap. Which player had the best dunk of
We
the
should put you up on your 8-foot rim.
He can't because he missed.
Well, when he's home by himself.
Oh.
So which player had the best dunk of the week?
I'm going
Have you
with
guys
B.
figured
Diddy.
this out?
I'm going with LeBron's breakaway. His head was over the rim.
I'm going with B. Diddy. Anytime you dunk on a 7-3
He likes the point guards.
you got to give it up.
He dunked on Greg, and it was an important dunk. You know what?
Man, that's where we break out the sunglasses, right?
Next time we see you,
I hate to leave, man.
in LA. You want to stay here in
Man, I'm
Bristol?
staying in Bristol. I'm not going to
I'll
LA.
tell you how it was.
Nah, I tell you how it was.
We'll see you at the All-Star game.
Bye.